Hello, my lovely people. Welcome back to another edition on Sew with PaulVin. You know how we do it here. Today we are here again to learn how to sew a beautiful welt pocket of trousers. You see how mine looks so beautiful? If and only if you follow my steps keenly, you are supposed to get it. And it's very easy. My style is very easy. Alright, so follow me and let's do it. Alright, so unless you want to do two welt pockets, the welt pocket is mostly done on the right side of the back trousers. Alright, now you need to cut two separate fabrics for this. Right, you need a longer fabric and a short fabric. Now these are the measurements. You see the short fabric that I've put there, this short fabric with lining in it. Now it's 7 inches big. The width is 7 inches, right, and the length is about 2 inches, right. It can be a bit less than 2 inches, but you normally take 2 inches. Okay, now let's check the measurement of the long fabric. Now the long one, I normally cut it about 19 inches. All right, afterwards any extra material will be cut off. So as you can see, it's 19 inches. All right. Now let's check the width. The width of this should be the same as the width of the other fabric. Right. So this one is also 7 inches. So fold over the trousers at the waistline and make sure you fold over the right side of the trousers. Right. Now let the difference from the out seam towards the buttocks be just 2 inches. Okay, you can see measure. Alright. Now do this with skill and accuracy. Good. So if you've gotten like this, then feel free and iron it. Then you press with iron beautifully. Alright, so measure ½ inch from the fold. ½ inch from the fold. Alright. Now, from the waistline into the buttocks of the trousers, you measure 4 inches. You can also make it 3.5, but this one I'm going to use 4 inches. Okay. So now use your ruler and connect both points together. Okay, so as it has been done beautifully, we have to go ahead, take this design to the sewing machine and sew it. As I always remind you, when you are sewing, take your time. There's no need to rush. When you master everything, then you can hurry with your work, right? But for now, concentrate on getting accuracy. Excuse me for my lightning. As time goes on, I think we will try and do a better job for you all. Now you have to turn the dart towards this side and iron. I mean not the outseam, towards the back and iron. Alright, so now you have to cut a 2-inch stiffener. Okay, after cutting a 2-inch stiffener, then measure about 3.5 inches on where you sewed. Right, now place the 2-inch stiffener on where I put the mark. Right, the stiffener should be about 7.5 inches long. Then you attach the stiffener. So as you are done, you make sure you iron it so that everything becomes as perfect as you want it to be. Now take your tape measure and measure about 3.5 inches on the dot. So watch me do it. Okay, so you can see 3.5 inches on the tape. You measure 3.5 inches. All right, now the word pocket should be about 5 inches long. Okay, so you measure 5 inches long using the dot as the middle point. Okay, so 5 inches. Now you take the two fabrics that we've at first measured, don't forget, and you transcend the measurement on it. As you can see, follow as I do and do the same. Okay, so now we have to go and sew on it. So as usual, take your time and do a good job. So place your fabric like I've done. Take your time and sew from the points that I marked. Alright, I'm going to sew from the points that I marked. Let me zoom in a bit for you to see clearly. Okay, now take your time during the sewing. I like taking my time because accuracy will make your customer come again. When you rush and he doesn't come again, then you haven't gained anything. So when you rush and lose a customer waiting, you gain. All right. Okay, so when you are done with one of the fabrics, go ahead and sew the other one. Now look at how I'm going to place the other one. I'll place the other one against or alongside the first one, right? And I'll start sewing from the same place that I start sewing on the first one, where I place the chalk. So look at it and do the same. All right, now make sure you get a good stitching. If not, this word pocket is a bit delicate that it may remove in the future very easily. So get a good stitching for your customer. Forgive me, but I like tearing my thread with my hand. It's unhealthy, but anyway, let's move on. So this is how it should be. Okay, now let's go ahead and cut through our sewn, right? Okay, so if you don't understand anything, just look at it as I'm doing it, and you to do same. So you make your first notch, then you cut through. All right. Good. Right, so you open that side like I've opened, and you make a notch. Let me zoom it a bit for you to see. Okay, zoomed now. So you make a notch from the middle part of the line towards the side where my sewing ended. Okay, you do same for all four corners. Make sure you don't cut through the sewing line. If you cut through the sewing line, then you spot the pocket. Okay, you have to change your sewing lines. So make sure you take your time when you are cutting, so that you don't cut when it's about to get close to the line, then you stop. So as I said, you do the same thing for all four corners. Take your time, take your time. There's no need to rush. Okay, so you see how it has been cut. Alright, like this. Okay, alright, now let me turn it for you to see it well. Alright, good. Nice, clear. Let's go ahead and cut the other two. time. Take your time and do your work. It's accuracy that's more important. Now, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Alright, if you don't subscribe, what you gain? Subscribe and let's move forward. Let's learn together. So with me all the time and we become perfect. There's nothing to fear. We all began like this. Alright. Just a few months into the future, you realize how better you become. Take your time and cut. Right, now that you are done, now you have to turn those fabrics that we attached and the attachment, you have to turn it through the holes that we've made on the fabric. Okay, so turn it into it. Okay, as you see me do it, do the same. Now, sewing projects are better than in practicals. You don't just watch, right? So you do it as I do it, then it gets stuck in your mind. Okay, that's how you reach perfection in sewing business. Okay, so now as I massage it, I also iron. Beautifully ironed. Now you turn it over like I've done, then I iron this side too. Okay, when you are ironing, you make sure you keep pulling the fabric so that all the corners are reviewed. Right, now make sure you don't pull the fabrics too much, because the corners that you made notches, it may extend, and we don't want any extensions. All right, now fold the fabric over towards the cut line. All right, as I've done, fold the fabric over towards the cut line and iron it. Okay, now turn over the other attachment, the short one, and iron it. Right, turn the trousers and iron the other side too. Right, now fold over this one too like you did, but let the lips meet. Right, fold over to let the lip meet the first lip that we did. Beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to turn it for you to see. Now you can see the wart pocket shape is already forming. Okay, right, now we have to turn also into it the notched part. You see this notch part, it has to go inside. Good, so turn it over like this as I've done. As I said, if you follow as I'm doing it, you also become perfect. Right, so one is turned into it. Make sure you remove every unwanted particle or unwanted attachment from it. All right, now when you're doing this, avoid using your hand most often. All right, use tools. If you are not perfect, I beg you, use tools. So maybe you could use your scissors or your screwdriver to push the notches into it. Okay, so this is our wart pocket design. Right, now I have to go to the machine and sew. The sewing will not be outer sewing, you will sew inside. Good. So as you can see, I hold it, pull it a bit, not to hurt or to create any extension. Right, but I pull it enough so that I don't leave any part unsewn. Alright, so you make your stitches very firm. Good. So very beautifully. Take your time and achieve accuracy. When you master, you can always sew as fast as you want. Now, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'm reminding you again, please. Let's reach milestones. So it PaulVin is here to stay. Now let's work on the other side. All right, so you also pull it so much, not too much, to the extent that you hurt the the word pocket. You don't create any extension. Take your time to sew. Okay. Alright, so as we are done with the corners, now let's go to the main length. Okay. So we will sew over this one too. Watch me and learn. Please take your time and like the video. Ensure this video goes viral. Right? Please help me help you too. Don't forget to subscribe to Sew with PaulVin. Sew with PaulVin has come to stay. Let's learn together and reach milestones together in the fashion business. Alright, now it's left with the last side. Alright, now we are sewing this like a triangle. So we are done with one length and two width or breadths. So it's left with the last length. You turn the trousers over so that the other length is exposed. Then you also sew onto it. Zoomed now for you to see clearly. Let's go. Let's go. Take your time as we sew. Alright. Okay. So we take a measurement of how long we want our word pocket to be. Right now, I normally like using 6.5, as you could see, 6.5. So you fold the attachment, the long attachment over, like I'm doing. Okay. Then you iron it. If you don't have iron, maybe you feel too lazy, as I'm feeling now, to go and iron. So I'll just use my nails to scratch it a bit, so I could create some line, some visible line. Okay. I'm just using my nails to scratch it. I want a visible line. Alright. So when you are done creating your visible line, then you let the visible line guide you. Alright. So you hold it at the corners and you fold the attachment over. Then you start sewing at the edges. Make sure you don't sew on the trousers, so you pull the trousers away. Good, as I've done. Alright, take your time and deliver. Take your time and deliver. Very good. Now do the same thing to the other side. I want to make sure you pull the trousers away so that you don't sew on it. As I said, give your trousers a very firm sew, very firm stitches. Let's go. Let's go. Take your time and work. Alright. So you dip your hand into the pocket and turn it inside out. So make sure you massage the edges to bring everything out to get the very sharp edges. I mean, if you don't get the sharpness, what you gain? Alright, so let's continue. We have to sew over it. The sewing should be like it should be like half a quarter. You can see I really respect my work, so I take my time to work. The more you respect your work, the more you get good and paying customers. Right, the more, even if you have just 3 customers, you realize that you always have work to do because they always keep coming back because your work is so beautiful. All right, so repeat the same sewing to the other side. Okay. Alright, now as we are done with this side, the thing is that the word pocket is supposed to have just one hole. Right, now this one is having double holes. You see, as I dip my hand to the top, it's even coming out, so I have to close the top. Alright, so you turn the waistline over and you sew over the other side of the triangle that we created. Don't forget our triangle, right? Okay, now you also sew the edges again. Okay, but make sure you don't sew at the down length. You only sew at the two width and the upper length towards the waistline, that side, upper length. We don't sew on the down length because the down length is the opening of the trousers, of the pocket. Right, is the opening of the pocket. So if you sew onto that side, it means that you've closed the pocket. And that would be very funny. Imagine you giving your customer a trousers that the pocket is closed. Don't make that mistake. All right, now you can see the top hole has been closed now, but the down hole is open. That's the pocket. All right, good. So you sew over at the waistline so that the pocket doesn't fly. Okay, sew over at the waistline. This is good. This is good. Now you can see the extension that I was talking about. We cut it off. Right, that's SS. We cut off the SS so that our waistline is revealed. Now we just sewed our perfect welt pocket, and you could see it's very easy. However, many tailors and fashion designers keep complaining that they find it difficult doing welt pockets. Many people contacted me over the phone on WhatsApp that they want me to teach this. Now there you have it. Okay, you just have to go and iron it firmly so that you get it neat, so beautiful as you can